What if the trajectory of a Lakers dynasty hinged not on the superstar flashes or headline trades, but on the quiet, gritty evolution of a single player finding his identity amid chaos and expectation? What if Bronny James, son of a legend, isn't just a point guard or a shooter, but the fulcrum on which everything unravels or redeems itself? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell, so you never miss a second of this drama. Tonight, we dive deep. 21 minutes was all it took in a summer league battle against the Mavs to catch the clearest glimpse of Bronny's basketball soul. It started like a preview of promising, breaking the game open early with a fluid sideline. Out-of-bounds set, throwing heat into a spread pick and roll, shifting to his right, shaking off Cooper Flag, and then drilling a long mid-range jumper with confidence. Before the clock could tick past 90 seconds, Bronny found the same rhythm, this time rising above the screen as Flag went under, sinking a triple from the top of the key. 2 shots, 2 makes, and a burst of hope. But here's the cruel twist, those would be his only 2 buckets all night, a blazing early duet before the curtain of struggle fell heavy. The reps were there, no shortage of ball in his hands, no lack of opportunity, but the process. Rushed, uncertain, a kid wrestling not just opponents, but himself. Early plays showed it clearly, the big sagging deep in drop coverage, leaving a cavernous 10-foot gap to attack, yet Bronny passes without probing, without claiming that space. Then came Spain pick and roll, the ideal chess move. A double screen designed to bewilder the defense, open up the paint, create chaos. But instead of tearing through that chaos, Bronny made a hurried pass with no edge, no created advantage, the defense shrugging it off. Contrast that with teammate DJ Stewart, whose natural point guard instinct shined as he lingered, read the defense, pushed into the paint, drew commitment, then delivered a perfect assist for a dunk. Bronny had flashes of brilliance. He masterfully baited Flag onto his back, flipped directions, and momentarily unlocked the middle of the floor, but still hesitated, retreated, kicking out without pressing advantages. Where was the attack? The fire? Instead, he settled early into floaters and perimeter looks, never putting the defense on the knife's edge. A physical baller, yes, but still seemingly without that killer instinct or court vision that turns plays into chaos for opponents. And why? Part of it might be his handle. When he did turn up the heat, dribbling smooth and trapping Flag in jail, the ball was loose, dancing dangerously close to turnovers at crucial moments. A jittery ball cost him momentum, and honestly, it painted the portrait of a guard still growing into the role he's being asked to play. Watching him reminded me of the story of a player much like Lonzo Ball, raw in pace and attack yet transformed over years by a lethal three-point shot and refined court vision. Bronny's shooting, though, still carries an asterisk. A 35% three-point shooting clip as a rookie between NBA and G League gigs is encouraging, but far from definitive. Less than 50 free throw attempts in college and pro ball won't tell us everything, but it hints that his offensive future rides heavily on whether that shot will someday become a weapon rather than a question mark. While Bronny's offensive ceiling may not be as a pure playmaker or shot creator, his vision running in open space, his speed pushing pace, and his ability to find cutters are subtle but significant. There's value there. But if offense feels like a puzzle he's still piecing together, defense is his undeniable canvas. Here, the Lakers see him as an Avery Bradley type, deploying him to exert pressure, attack ball handlers right at the point of attack, and let his physical tools shine. And shine they did. The sheer strength, balance, and agility to cut off driving paths, absorb contact, and contest shots with a quick hand stood out. But even in defense, a chink appeared, his struggles navigating screens. The Lakers' defensive scheme often funnels ball handlers to the corners early, and Bronny found himself fighting hard contact, trying to stay attached to his man, often forced into playing catch-up rather than controlling the play. Still, where others might see struggle, I see raw potential and, yes, versatility. Despite standing only 6'3", Bronny was matched up against the imposing Cooper Flag in the second quarter. And he passed the test with fierce lower body strength and an immovable center of gravity that repeatedly frustrated Flag's attempts to settle in the post. Reminded many of Drew Holiday, a compliment not given lightly in Lakers circles. It's technique, not just physicality, that subtle angle of the legs, the chest leaning forward to absorb contact that elevates Bronny beyond just a youth with the potential to a defender with real promise. That said, size remains a glaring limitation, especially away from the ball where he can execute quick peel switches but can't protect the paint with length, leaving him vulnerable to shooters once he gets caught ball watching, a fatal flaw for wings in an era of sharpshooters and pace. Still, at 20 years old, his defensive awareness and activity are leagues beyond expectations, often showing up in the right place at the right time, filling a blueprint role as a team defender, even if some errant decisions sneak through here and there. So, what does it all add up to? For Bronny James, if he's going to cement a lengthy NBA career, it's going to start on defense. His ability to lock down isolation scorers, adapt across multiple positions thanks to lower body strength, and pressure the ball with physicality gives him a foothold few young guards possess. The next defining challenge will be mastering screen. Navigation: can he stay tight, get skinny, avoid costly contact, and stay glued to the ball through the twisting traffic of NBA offense? That skill may ultimately reveal whether he's a situational defender or someone who can be trusted as the first line of defense against elite scorers. And offensively, the path is thornier. He's unlikely to ever carry the offense as a pure point guard or half-court creator like LeBron or AD. But in transition, running off screens, and in catch-and-shoot scenarios, his speed and court vision could make him a cog in the Lakers' offensive machine. The defining question will be his three-point shot. Can he hit 36-37%? From deep consistently enough to transform from a liability to an asset? Because if he can, he becomes the kind of athletic, versatile player every coach dreams of. A reliable shooter who moves the ball smartly and defends multiple positions fiercely. That's a player any Lakers fan would gladly welcome on the roster. A versatile tool to complement stars and carry load in the gritty, invisible moments that win championships. But as a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel the weight of history and impatience pressing down on Bronny's shoulders. From the glorious Showtime to the heartbreak of the post-Kobe years, our city waits with bated breath, craving every spark of greatness, yet fearing every stumble. So here we stand, watching Bronny not just play a summer league game, but play the role destiny seems to have handed him. Is this the start of a new empire, a fresh chapter of Lakers' legacy, or the beginning of our unraveling? Does Bronny have the mettle to rise beyond his lineage and carve his own path, or does the shadow stretch too long and the pressure too heavy? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one. Listen up, Lakers Nation. This isn't just another highlight reel to scroll past or a flash in the pan moment you bottle up and forget by tip-off next week. This is the raw nerve of what it means to bleed purple and gold right now. We're staring at a crossroads that could crumble the legacy or birth legends anew, and Bronny James? He's not just playing for minutes or stats. He's playing for a future that will either carry LeBron's torch forward or let it flicker out under the weight of impossibly high expectations. Think about it: every time Bronny steps on the court, the world is watching, waiting, comparing. It's like watching a young artist dip his brush into colors that don't quite look like his father's masterpiece yet. But there's a new vision underneath, if we're patient enough to see it. And patience, Lakers fans, has never been our strongest suit. We're a city that's soaked in Showtime magic and three-peat glory, nourished on Kobe's relentless ambition and crowned by the miracle bubble title of 2020. We're starved for dominance, for swagger, for a return to that invincible purple demon the league once feared, a team so brutal and beautiful it makes grown men tremble. And yet, here we are, biting our nails over pick-and-roll defense and hesitation at the three-point line. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for the next draft pick or skinny rookie, but for the soul of the franchise. Because LeBron? This might be his final chapter as a Laker, the closing act in a saga that's rewritten history. His legacy isn't just rings and stats, it's what he leaves behind. And right now, Bronny carries part of that weight, whether he's ready or not. Anthony Davis, the silent warrior with a body forged of steel and a heart bruised by injury's cruel whispers, still bears the burden of carrying this team across the finish line. But if Bronny flashes a glimpse of greatness, if he finally stiffens his resolve and slays the defensive demons of screen navigation, if that three-point shot becomes more than a fragile hope and starts to bite like a rattlesnake strike, then maybe, just maybe, the Lakers aren't done writing their story. Meanwhile, Mullet Beasley and Austin Reeves are clawing for respect, flanking this squad like hidden daggers, reminding us that the Lakers' heart beats not just in superstars, but in gritty, unheralded fight. But that fight is sharpening a blade. With an uncertain edge, what if Bronny doesn't ascend? What if the pressure crushes him, the shadow swallowing his light before it can ignite? Imagine the ripple effect, not just in the locker room, but across the Western Conference chessboard. The Warriors, still clawing for supremacy, could feast on our disarray like predators circling a wounded beast. Denver, with Jokic's unyielding brilliance, waits patiently to pounce, while Phoenix and the Clippers sharpen their talons, itching to exploit Lakers' disarray and claim California's throne. The West isn't slowing down, it's accelerating, and the Lakers stand at the precipice, balancing between reclamation and oblivion. But here's the twist nobody's talking about loud enough, Jeanie Buss. The steward of the franchise's legacy remains seated at the helm. Yet whispers swirl of billionaire pursuers, shadow investors eyeing the purple and gold empire like a high-stakes game of Monopoly. What if the delicate balance of power snaps? What if new money floods the front office, shipping out beloved culture for quick, soulless fixes? Every announcement, every trade rumor pulses through the fan base like an electric shock, because we know history isn't just written on the court. It's forged in the boardroom. And every shift risks toppling the fragile dream we cling to. We remember the post-Kobe purgatory, years of heartbreak and lost identity when the Lakers danced around mediocrity like ghosts searching for a spark. We remember the three-peats of the 2000s, the relentless pursuit under Phil Jackson where every loss cut deep because the Lakers demanded excellence. We remember the 2010 title, a revenge song sung by a team reborn from ashes. And we clenched our fists and held our breath during the bubble championship, roaring with relief and joy while the world watched in stunned silence. That history courses through us, its DNA, woven into our marrow. Yet with every success came backlash. Every high gave way to valleys of despair. And that duality marched with us now as the team flirts with both promise and precariousness. The image of Bronny battling through uncertainty is not just a game story. It is the heartbeat of our community's expectation, our desperation for a new beacon in the storm. Raw potential is there, but the haze of inexperience and inches of growth yet to come make this a nail-biter with no guarantees. Will Bronny rise to become the Avery Bradley lockdown defender we need? Or will he succumb to the weight of being the son of? Will his offense find fire or fizzle? The shot that once whispered promise become a signal flare that sets defenses ablaze? Now imagine, just for a moment, if Bronny unlocks that next level, the city explodes. The doubters silence as a new dynasty takes root not on blockbuster trades or headline-grabbing signings, but on the steady grit of a young man forging identity. Under a blazing, unforgiving spotlight, the Lakers rebuilt not around stars from other franchises, but by cultivating their own a homegrown force rising from the ashes of the past, a testament to patience, heart, and legacy. But what if the cracks widen instead? If that hesitation evolves into chronic indecision, if the defense falls apart when the screens come fast and furious, if the three ball remains a dice roll rather than a weapon, the ripple effect reaches. Beyond Bronny himself, it threatens to undo LeBron's swan song, to hamstring Ad's twilight years, to shove Reeves and the supporting cast back into shadow. What happens to the Lakers' soul if their young bulwark falters? Is the era of purple and gold dominance slipping quietly into a twilight of irrelevance? Or worse, becoming a cautionary tale of what might have been? This isn't just basketball. It's a saga of identity, survival, and rebirth wrapped in the sweat, tears, and fury of every fan who's worn the colors through triumph and tragedy. I see the echo of Magic running fast, the flash of Kobe's relentless grind, the towering presence of Shaq dominating paint, and I wonder, can Bronny carry that mantle forward? Or is this just a calm before a storm that threatens to wash away all we fought for? As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming every game, every possession, every passing second is a battle for legacy that transcends the court. We are witnessing a Phoenix moment or a slow burn fade out. No one else can write this story for us. It's handed to the players, the management, and most painfully, to us the fans who pour our hearts out night after night. So now I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold. Are we on the verge of a new dynasty's dawn or standing at the edge of a legacy at risk? Because in this city, hope is a roar and the night is far from over.